Hi everybody, welcome back. This is going to be the next experiment with mixing black into pearl paints. Now, I will say, while these have been interesting, none of them thus far have been like, wow, I want to change my process and do it this way instead. But I do think it is a really pretty kind of color palette if you like really soft colors or colors that kind of, almost monochromatic type paintings, then I think they are very pretty. But for me, I normally like super bright colors. So, and I like how with the regular pearl paints that they shift. So I don't know if I'll do any more experiments past this one, but it has been super interesting to learn more about these. I have Golden's interference colors as well. I am going to try those out too. I've had them for a little while and I just have been playing around with these so much, the Amsterdam brand, that I haven't really gotten into it, but they're basically the same thing. And I will have some of those experiments coming too. So for this one, because my colors are so dark, and I will show you, they look black, but that is purple. They are so rich. It's really, really pretty. So I've got the purple, the green, the yellow, and the blue again, but I'm gonna add in pearl white to these. So that's why I chose to do the dark background on this one instead of the white canvas, because I really want the pearl white to hopefully shine through on those. So for this one, I took the cup and I went all the way up with pearl paint, and then I went all the way up to the top with black if you're trying to follow along. So this was a 7-ounce cup. So I did maybe about 40% black and the rest the pearl, maybe even 50%, and the rest the pearl colors. So this created a super dark, rich color. So I don't know, do I want to start with the pearl white in the center is the question. I did purple on the last one, so I'm going to do blue. I'm going to start with actual blue and then layer in. And I feel like maybe I want some big chunky layers of the pearl white. Well, maybe chunky is not the right word, but yeah, like a bigger layer than I did on the last one. Okay, so what do I want to do now? I think I'm going to go with... And I'm super interested to see how this turns out because I'm not using the base, like the liquid black base. I'm using a canvas that I painted. And I just painted this with regular, oh my gosh, I almost put that in the wrong place. I cannot talk to y'all and do this. What color was that? Okay, that was yellow. I painted it with just regular acrylic paint and let it dry. This one's actually been sitting for a couple of weeks, but you don't have to let it sit that long. I've done it and painted within a couple of days. That green is so pretty. I wonder if these are gonna show up though. In hindsight, I probably would have added just a little bit less black, but even if this comes out just like a white and black painting, I would actually be okay with that too, because I think it's gonna be super cool. I'm gonna need a little bit more pearl white. Let me see here. Where is it? There it is. Okay, pour it in here. I can control it better if I pour it into the smaller container, so that's why. Almost out of that one. Super. Oh, I saw one little thing just get in there. I be able to get that out? Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. I actually did. Huh. I found it and I was like, well, that's a goner. I guess I'll get it out when I stretch it. Haha. I triumphed over the paint today. All right. Yeah, I wonder if this is just going to come out. Maybe it's too much black in there. But in the cup, you won't probably be able to see it on camera. The camera never does it justice. But the cups are so pretty. deep, rich, dark color. Okay. And then I think I will do this one as a ring pour as well. Do my purple, and then I'll put the rest of it around the sides. And I used up all of my pearl white. That always makes me happy. All right, so I'll leave those. Again, I didn't use as much. I must be afraid of that yellow, which is kind of like brown, which makes sense because a lot of times I am afraid of brown. All right, so where do I pour out of? I think I'm gonna pour out of the side. And I do like doing this in like reverse ring pour style so that my center, now this is super interesting. I have no idea how this one's gonna come out. Because that white kind of mixed together with the colors to just be a little bit gray. I don't know, is this just gonna be gray? I'm not in love with the center. Oh, again, I'm like a ninja. Yeah, even the cup isn't that pretty this time. So I don't know. Oh my gosh, my fingers are gonna get stuck together with paint. I don't know about this one, y'all. All right. Let me pour the rest of this around the sides here. Yeah, I don't know about this one. That pearl white really took over. Not every experiment comes out the way you want it. What I'm upset about is I wasted one of my canvases I've already painted, but it's not a waste. If I learn something from it, even if all I learn is, I don't like that, that's okay. All right, got the rest of my mold around these edges. Got my green over here. I didn't use up that much green either. Okay, and then my blue. Do I want to wreck this? I feel like it definitely needs to be wrecked. So interesting how that white kind of took over there. I was not expecting that. All right. So I haven't wrecked, I normally wreck with like these little squiggly lines through it, but I wonder what would happen if I just did like this, kind of like I do for my puddle pours. A pattern like that. I mean, let's see, right? What's the worst that could happen? I actually like that. That's a pretty cool pattern. I just have a feeling this is going to be silver. All right, let's stretch it out. Let's see what happens. Got a good amount of paint on there. Gonna stretch it to all my sides first. I am sad that I'm gonna lose that really pretty white pattern around there because I actually really liked that, but maybe it'll just be like a black and white painting. I'm interested to see how this pattern's gonna stretch out too. Looks almost square, and I actually don't like that, so I'm gonna circle this around a little bit. This is how you can change your pattern. See how the paint is like moving in a circle right now? That is how you change your pattern if it's coming out not looking exactly how you want it. Now I'm gonna keep moving around in a circle. Yeah, I don't know, guys. This one's not looking too great. I'm going to show it anyway, just so that in case anybody else does it, so that they don't, you know, waste their paints. But yeah, this is definitely not my favorite. All right. I don't know what I want to do. Do I want to try to save it or just leave it? Because what would be interesting, I feel like maybe it could save it, is if I either swiped through it or ribbon poured through it. Gosh, I don't know. All right, I think I'm going to leave it just because I want to see what it dries like. And then I can always reuse the canvas. I can paint over top of it. I can do tons of things with it. So I'm not like upset about it. But very, very interesting. So that pearl white, adding it between those layers, it took over all the colors. Very interesting. All right, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so first thing, I did not like the wrecking pattern. I like this side where I started to swirl, but I didn't like this side. Can you hear my little kitty? So it got kind of wonky. And I told you I was scared of that brown, which is really yellow, but there it is. That's the dark blue. I'm just not getting the colors in this. I mean, maybe when it dries, I'll get some of them. It's going to be a surprise to both of us. But that pearl white, I mean, it really, really took over. So duly noted. And again, even if an experiment teaches me just one thing, I'm okay with it. I get people that ask me all the time, why do you post paintings if you think that they're bad or if they don't work out? So that we can all learn. Whew. We'll see how it dries. All right, so I'm not going to call this a fail because I learned a lot. But this is not what I wanted or what I thought would happen. The silver basically just took over. And as I get up close, you'll be able to see. So at first I was like, where's my purple? Where's my green? Where's my blue? But that's purple. That's green. You can see the purple. That yellow definitely went to a brown color this time. And the blue is mixed all in between here, but it mixed with the silver. So not what I was thinking at all. Some of these designs are really pretty in here, but overall, I don't like my composition and the way that I wrecked that one either. But if you want a really pretty chocolate metallic, put a lot of black into pearl yellow. I originally thought maybe it would go to like an olive green color, so I am a little bit surprised that it stayed this kind of brown color. But sometimes black and yellow will make that green. But definitely learned a lot from this one. Don't think I'll be trying this again. And I also think that that might be the end of adding black to my colors. I think my favorite one was the one that I did before this, where I added just a medium amount in and it just made kind of super rich metallic colors. But this was definitely fun. I have a few more actual pearl experiments to do. I have the alternating complementary color puddle pour coming up and a few others. So we'll definitely be experimenting again with the pearlescent paints, but I think this is the end of a chapter on mixing in the black. But I appreciate you if you have been here watching these, and thank you so much for watching. Happy painting. Bye.